Welcome to the Library Love Fest podcast. I'm Virginia Stanley.
I'm Lainey Mays.
We are the library marketing team at HarperCollins Publishers.
Join us every week as we present buzzworthy books through author interviews, conversations with editors, and expert opinions from librarians like you.
Enjoy the show.
Book Buzz, HarperCollins Book Buzz. Check it out. Do-do-do, Book Buzz, HarperCollins Book Buzz. Brought to you by Library Love Fest.
Hello, everyone. This is Lainey, and I am joined by our newest team member, Grace. Grace, do you want to say hi and introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for all of the warm welcomes I've been receiving the last few weeks. I'm really excited to be part of the team and to work with all of you.
I'm so excited. Welcome, Grace. And this is your first Library Reads podcast, your first podcast that we've done.
Yeah, first podcast in general.
Well, welcome again. And we are very excited to have you to tell our listeners about the Library Reads list for October. So this is one of our favorite things that we get to do. We announce the October Library Reads picks, the HarperCollins picks that were selected. If we're lucky enough to have some, this time we have some more. So thank you, all of our librarians who got their votes in. And we tell you a little bit about the books that won, and then we hear from some of the authors. If you don't know what Library Reads is a list of 10 books that are voted by librarians. It's each month that's published. You vote the first day of the month prior, and any book voted for in October was eligible. So they got the votes in, and we are very excited. I won't bury the lead anymore, to have 2 books on the list and 1 Hall of Famer. So Grace, what do you say? Let's tell them.
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right. Very excited to announce that our 2 books that made the list are Anywhere You Run by Wanda M and Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver.
Woo!
Yeah! We're so excited. Big congrats to them both. And a very big congratulations to our Hall of Fame author, Alisha Rai, for Partners in Crime. This is her second Hall of Fame book. So she's got 4 books on Library Reads in all. And we love Alisha, and we welcome a big congratulations. So we'll do a big cheer for her. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So without further delay, I think maybe this time we'll change it up a bit and give Wanda a call, because we have a little bit of a tradition. Her first book, All Her Little Secrets, was the top pick in November 2021. So none of the placement matters on the Library Reads list except for the number 1 pick. So All Her Little Secrets, her first debut novel, made it, and we were so excited. So we called her, caught her a little off guard, and it was fantastic because she was just so thankful and so excited. And since the second one made it, I think we should call her. So what do you say? Let's give her a call.
Sounds good.
Hello, we have a special guest with us on the podcast. Wanda M is here. Hi, Wanda.
Hi, Lainey and Grace.
Hi. So, we like to surprise you sometimes. And
Okay.
And we like to get you on a phone call so we can tell you good news. And this is no different. We called you in the past for your first book, All Her Little Secrets, was just, so acclaimed. So many things. It was in so many roundups. It was covered by everything. A Hudson Booksellers, one of the best books of 2021. You were named Fall 2021's top 10 writers to watch by Publishers Weekly. Like, your first book was just everywhere, and it made the number 1 spot in Library Reads that year in November. And
I do recall.
You recall that call we surprised you with?
I do. I recall it well because I blubbered like a big baby. But yes, I do recall that.
Okay, so keep that in your mind when I tell you some other good news. Your next book, Anywhere You Run, has made the October Library Reads list this year.
Get out. thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank you, librarians. Oh my gosh, you guys are the best. But you already know how much I love librarians. So much so that I put a library seed in my second book.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Biggest of congratulations. That it's so well deserved, and you know how excited we get when we see an author making the list, but this one really was it was truly like jumping up and down again like we did for the first one.
Crazy, 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 crazy. I just, I know that some people, this might just be kind of the norm for them, but every single time you guys call me with some good news, I get an email. I am just seriously, it's like the first time for me. I'm like a kid in a candy store. And I think I'm so appreciative because it took me so long to figure my way out to this place, to be what I've always wanted to be and to do what I've always wanted to do. And so I do not take any of it for granted. Thank you so much.
Oh, I know. And I know that the librarians who read this and voted on it have heard us talk to you. We have that lovely Facebook Live, so I hope everybody goes to watch that. But we really dove in on this new book, which came pretty quickly after the first one, and it's a little different. Do you want to tell them a little bit about it, and maybe especially what makes it different than the first book?
Sure. I like to describe this book, despite the body count, again, as a coming of age story of two Black sisters growing up in the Jim Crow South. It starts off in Jackson, Mississippi, when one sister flees after murdering her attacker. She flees to a small rural town in Georgia. And when the police show up at her sister's door, she figures she might be in trouble too. So she flees and she heads north. And what the two sisters don't realize is that there's a man with his own brand of dark secrets who is hot on their trail to find them. And again, it really is a story about family and love and all those things that go into making a woman strong and finding her voice and her place.
So what I think, yeah, exactly. And I think what, this is historical fiction with the thriller in it, and it's very different than the first one. But I think what people love about this book, just like they loved with the first one, is just how great you are at writing these characters that stick with you and are just so fleshed out and so memorable. And I think, especially with the two sisters in this one, it's really fantastic. And there's some Easter eggs from the first one, we won't give anything away, but I think that was really important. So when you write your books, do you start off thinking about the characters, or do you kind of have the plot out first? I'm intrigued to know.
You know what? It's always the characters for me. That, it is. I try to write about things that are important to me, or things that really touch me. And I have to find a voice, because obviously I can't use my own voice. So I try and find a voice as an entry point into the story. And, the only way I can do that is through a character. And this particular character, Violet, had been rambling around in my head for a very long time. And I just thought it would be so interesting to explore this particular topic that I wanted to explore, because when I finished All Her Little Secrets, we had just gone through the 2020 election. And so there was all this rancor and noise about, election fraud, and states were starting to enact legislation to make it more difficult. And I thought, it would be so great to write about that, because I'm so passionate about that. but I couldn't find a contemporary voice. And then I thought, you know what, it might be cool to just go back and kind of explore all of this through the genesis of, the inception of the Voting Rights Act. And Violet's voice and her character seemed to be the perfect entryway to do all of that.
Isn't that so scary that like the best way to write about what's happening now is to go back, and it seems like nothing changed?
Exactly. This book, and I hope readers get this too, because for me, writing this story felt very deja vu. Like what is going on now? Little has changed. And it's so odd too, because I started the book before the Roe v. Wade decision came down from the Supreme Court. And so now those things that I talk about in the book are actually kind of what our present day is. It's frightening to me to think that, young women like you, my daughter, you don't have the same rights that I had when I was your age. And I think, how can we be living in what is perceived to be the most powerful country in the world, and women's rights are so shunned and stunted? So I'll get off my feminist platform soapbox right now, but I again wanted to look at kind of those issues, and like I said, going back to 1964 seems eerily familiar to 2022.
Wow. Yeah, I've never really thought about it that way. That's an interesting way to put all of that too. Well, thank you for writing it. I know your law background too would be interesting with all of the Voting Rights Acts too. So, I mean, there's just so much in this book, and I really encourage everyone to go watch our deep dive on Facebook with you, because I could have talked to you for like 5 hours. So.
Oh, thank you so much. That was a lot of fun, especially with the pictures and everything. It was really a lot of fun. Yeah.
And on top of this win, you've had so much buzz around the book. You've earned 3-star reviews from wonderful journals, and I think one of my favorite reviews that you've gotten so far is a starred review from Booklist, and they reported this riveting and moving novel with echoes of Zora Neale Hurston's "Their Eyes Are Watching God" is highly recommended for fans of suspense and women's fiction.
Is that not crazy, Grace? I'm like, when I read that, I'm a big crybaby. I really did. I wept, because that is super, super duper high praise. I don't have words. Like I said, though, I don't take it for granted. It is truly, I am blessed. I am blessed.
It's so well deserved. And these reviews were really a testament to how wonderful this book is. Publisher Weekly called it meticulously researched. LJ had great things to say about it as well. And I hope that you are, feeling the love that this book is getting.
Thank you so much. And I have to give a shout out to the Auburn Avenue Research Library on African American culture and history, because I walked into that library and they just opened up like a treasure trove of, papers and books and documents and magazines and all sorts of things about that particular era. And the librarians there were just phenomenal. And they are intricately a part of what made this book so authentic, I hope, because of their knowledge and their assistance in opening up these doors for research. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad you gave that shout out. And I'm just echoing that not only did you get 3-starred reviews, you got this LibraryReads selection, like all of these things are coming in to prove just how lovely this book is, but you can do all the hard work, and sometimes those things don't come, and that just proves like how much you put into this and how much it's resonated with readers. And so I can attest to that you don't take it for granted, and you're just so thankful, and you love your librarians so much. So I hope if those out there, the one person who hasn't read it yet, picks it up and just knows the care and thought that went into this book, and I'm sure for many books to come.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Oh, well, it's hard to say goodbye to you, but big congratulations and hope to talk soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both so much. Thank you. And thank you, librarians. You guys are superheroes in regular clothes. I love you all.
I love that. But bye-bye. That was just so lovely. It's always a joy to get to call and talk to Wanda. So we also have an audio from our Hall of Fame author. Let's hear from Alisha Rai.
Hi, my name is Alisha Rai, and I'm the author of Partners in Crime. Partners in Crime is about Mira, who is a mild-mannered accountant with some pretty hefty family secrets of the criminal variety, and her hero, Naveen, who is a mild-mannered attorney who also maybe is not as mild-mannered as he seems. The two used to date until Mira got spooked and ran away in the middle of the night. And now they're back together because Naveen is handling some family affairs for Mira's aunt. Before they can really process that, though, they are kidnapped together and dumped in the Nevada desert because some jewel thieves think that Mira's father stole something from them. So now the two have one wild night in Vegas to figure out who's after them, what they want, and how to get it back to them, and keep their lives and their families' lives intact. So, it's just like a classic rom-com setup, really. I had so much fun writing Partners in Crime. I needed an adventure, and it gave me exactly that. And I really hope readers love it. I am so honored to hear that librarians love it. And I'm so, so honored to be inducted into the LibraryReads Hall of Fame or to be in it again for a second time. I was inducted with First Comes Like, my last book, and so amazingly thrilled, beyond my wildest dreams, to be there again with Partners in Crime. I love and respect librarians so much for all that they do and the communities that they create for their patrons. And this is something that I don't think I will ever get over or take for granted, to be a Hall of Famer in something when I never thought I would be in any kind of Hall of Fame. I was never good at sports or anything. So this is like a way better Hall of Fame to be in. And I'm just so honored and pleased. And thank you to all the librarians for everything you do and for reading and enjoying Partners in Crime. I hope that your patrons love it as much as you seem to. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Oh, I love that the theme for these two audios we've heard today are just like not taking things for granted and being so thankful for librarians. I think what's really special about this episode that we do is that we get to hear that two-way communication where it's like, oh, it's wonderful that you're voted for on this list, but like, what's the reaction? And I think hands down, when we get audio clips or we call authors, this is like one of the biggest days of their life. Like, they're just so excited that librarians are voting to say that their patrons will love it. And I'm so happy that that came through from both of our authors. I think that means so much to them. And I just want to thank the librarians so much for reading. It's so much to read a month and voting and making these authors stay.
Absolutely. And then, by further helping readers find their next favorites. So thank you.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, this has been so much fun. I'm so excited we could announce these books and, get to reading. You have November coming and you can find that on Library Love Fest if you need some recommendations. And hopefully that means we'll see you next month for another episode. And if you have any questions about Library Reads, go to libraryreads.org. And that's where you can find out how to vote if you don't know already.
All right.
Cool. Bye, Grace.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Library Love Fest podcast. For more information on this week's episode, go to librarylovefest.com. Enjoying the show? We would love to hear what you think. Find us on Facebook and Twitter at Library Love Fest and on Instagram at Harper Library. Be sure to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and share the show with a friend. See you next week.